Remus, not some Republican. She was former White House counsel for Joe Biden. That's who said that. That's why we're here. So I just have a couple questions for you, Ms. Wallace-Jones, just a couple. Your board chairman said ActBlue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
What's going on, America? Welcome back to America Wake. I'm Wilson. You just watched that exchange, and honestly, what stood out to me wasn't what Representative Jim Jordan asked. It was what never got answered. No matter where you stand politically, when Congress is looking into allegations involving political donations, possible foreign contributions, and fraud concerns, Americans expect answers. Instead, we watched question after question met with the same response. I respectfully decline to answer pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights. Now, everyone has constitutional rights, and that should be respected. But when someone facing serious questions refuses to answer nearly all of them, people are naturally going to have concerns. Jim Jordan came with direct questions. He asked about fraud, foreign contributions, legal team resignations, and alleged changes to fraud standards. The answers never came. In my opinion, that silence became the biggest story of the hearing. Before we get into it, make sure to like the video, subscribe to America Wake, turn on notifications, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Jim Jordan was asking fair questions? I'd love to hear your take. Now let's get into it.
Motion hold it in abeyance until the end of the hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield back my time.
The gentleman yields back. In deference to the chair of and the ranking member of the other full committee, I now recognize the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Jordan, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Garcia, in his opening statement, said we're here because Republicans are playing politics. Let's be clear. We're here because ActBlue's legal counsel said Ms. Wallace-Jones lied to Congress, willfully and knowingly misled the Congress of the United States. That's why we're here. Oh, by the way, who was the legal counsel, Covington Burling? Who was her counsel? Dana Remus, not some Republican. She was former White House counsel for Joe Biden. That's who said that. That's why we're here. So I just have a couple questions for you, Ms. Wallace-Jones, just a couple. Your board chairman said ActBlue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How many foreign contributions did ActBlue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How much money did ActBlue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Why did your entire legal team quit? Your in-house legal team?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Did your legal team quit because of reduced fraud standards?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
I understand. And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the good work you and your committee are doing. And with that, I would yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from North Carolina.
After watching the full hearing, my biggest takeaway is simple. Jim Jordan was doing what Congress is supposed to do. He was asking questions on behalf of the American people. What struck me most was how straightforward those questions were. How much fraud is too much fraud? How many foreign contributions were accepted? Was money accepted from Russia? Why did the legal team leave? Were fraud standards weakened? These were direct questions aimed at concerns that have already attracted national attention. Yet every major question received the same response, a Fifth Amendment invocation. Again, that is a constitutional right. Nobody is arguing otherwise. But the public is also entitled to notice when serious questions go unanswered. One point Jordan made that I think deserves attention is that these concerns were not presented as a Republican invention. He pointed to statements and allegations that he said came from people connected to the organization itself. That makes the questions harder to dismiss as simple partisan politics. I was also interested in the discussion about contributions that allegedly showed signs of foreign origin. If those concerns are wrong, the public deserves clarification. If they're right, the public deserves accountability. Either way, transparency matters. The questions about the legal team were equally important. When an entire legal department reportedly leaves an organization, people are naturally going to wonder why. Jordan tried to get answers, but none were provided. To me, that's the story of this hearing. Questions were asked. Answers never came. The most powerful part of this exchange wasn't anything Jim Jordan said. It was the fact that viewers were left with more questions than answers when it was over. Public trust depends on transparency. When transparency is missing, skepticism grows. That's just reality. People will have different opinions about what happened here. Some will say invoking the Fifth Amendment shouldn't be viewed negatively. Others will see the repeated refusals to answer as a major red flag. That's a debate people can have. What isn't debatable is that the American people did not get many of the answers they were looking for. In my view, Jim Jordan raised concerns that many Americans already have, and he did what elected representatives are supposed to do. He asked the questions. At the end of the day, accountability requires answers. Oversight requires answers. And public confidence requires answers. After watching this hearing, the biggest takeaway wasn't what was said. It was what wasn't. I'm Wilson, and this is America Wake. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.